Feliz Navidad.
And Happy Christmas to all the English.
And Merry Xmas to all the atheists out there.
And Happy Hanukkah to the little baby Jesus and all the other Jewish people.
Yes.
I am Lady Mary Pozah.
And I am Too Tight Lautrec.
And I am here with me bosom buddy to bring you another brilliant Boozy Bake-Off. Today, in honor of the holiday season, we shall be making miniature pavlovas.
They'll make you drool.
Just kidding. No, our little pavlovas we shall be calling pavlovettes. 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 Not a corvette, a pavlovette. Not a tiny Russian dancer, darling, but individual serving-sized desserts that we can eat apart, thus not upsetting our dear Dr. Fauci.
Yes.
Now, pavlovas or pavlovettes are really nothing more than meringues topped with whipped cream of any flavor and fruit. Of course, a meringue is basically egg whites with a bit of sugar beaten until stiff.
And that's our motto here at the Boozy Bake-Off. Beat it till it's stiff and you get something white and sticky.
Oh, heavens. Believe me, they're absolutely no use unless you get them good and stiff.
Yes. It works in any manner of things. Go ahead.
Any manner of things. All right. First of all, did you know that meringues were claimed to have been created by the Swiss?
I did not know that.
In a little town called Meringen. Yes, Meringen, meringue, you see? You say Meringen, I say Meringue. Let's call the whole thing off. Don't go, darling. They were then said to have been improved upon by an Italian chef. And really, what can't be improved upon by an Italian? I lose myself. The first mention of meringue in a recipe was in 1692. Coincidentally, 200 years from when Columbus invaded America. In 1604, there was a recipe for a white biscuit bread, which they called pets. Pets. But we will recognize that recipe today as for a meringue. So, what's in a name? That which we call a meringue by any other name would taste just as sweet. A little citation from Romeo and Juliet, a misquotation, really, by the bard. And so I shall turn it over to our sensational shaky solitaire, Too Tight Lautrec.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything in Shakespeare about meringues, and I turned over quite a few leaves trying to find it. But instead I went to a different place entirely, to Japan, and found some nice haiku mentioning cherry blossoms, because today's meringue, or pavlova, I'm calling the cherry blossom pavlova, which is different from the gin blossom pavlova. But it's a little drunken cherry, and I thought maybe some haiku about cherry blossom would be good. And these are from Basho.
Basho, I have one of her albums.
Yes. The first one, cherry blossoms. Fall, fall, enough to fill my belly. Which is quite nice and very apropos for today.
Lovely and brief, I love that.
But the one I like best is, without regret, they fall and scatter. Cherry blossoms.
Everything's falling in your haikus. Did you notice that? Sort of like me.
That's the way it goes. So, to make some meringues, we have to crack some eggs, and so let's get cracking. Oh, but wait. You
can't start anything without a little Boozy Bake.
Yes, but I almost forgot. Now let's get cracking. We're going to start by cracking the eggs and making our meringues. All our ingredients are assembled. We've got some sugar, some cream of tartar, we've got some
white wine vinegar,
and some cornstarch, and of course 3 lovely eggs.
You don't want an egg unless it's lovely. So here we are.
That's right.
All right. Now, what are we going to throw these shells? Well, we'll just toss them about. So here we go. Cracking the egg. You don't want to touch it with your hand. Let's tell them why, Too Tight.
You separate the egg yolks from the egg whites using this method instead of your hands because any kind of fat, like an oil on your hand, even if they're very
Oh, then
clean,
stay away from this, dear.
will flatten the egg whites. The meringues are 90% air, and the protein keeps it all together. Add a little bit of sugar in it, and that helps strengthen the structure, and as does a little bit of acidity with the vinegar and the cream of tartar. So you want a very, very clean bowl because you don't want anything with fat in it, and that's why they say that metal bowls are better than plastic bowls because fat sticks to plastic, which is why
her dress fits so well.
we never wear plastic dresses.
All right. So now we're going to turn on the machine.
And the sugar.
One must lift the bowl if one wants to whip. All right? All right, there's a bit of foam. And now we'll put in a 1/4 teaspoon of tartar. Oh, heavens.
Should that be a slurry with the vinegar?
It's almost empty, you know. We need new tartar.
A slurry with the vinegar?
No. Cream of tartar. That should do. Turn it back. Ooh. And now we're going to gradually add the sugar. 1/2 cup. Do you want to do this? Yes, a little more gradually than I had planned. All right. There it is. You might be thinking they should be done already, but let's give it a look. I don't think they are.
No.
And we'll show you how we know. You'll see you take it out. You see
Too
that
drippy.
that's a little bit limp. It should be standing up straight and erect. That's how you know it's really
The
good.
last thing you want is a big drip for your meringue.
Yes. Or your partner.
That's right.
Well, when they're done, they're done. Because, you see, if you overdo them, they become grainy. So let us check it out this time and see what we've got.
No.
Wait, let's just look. I can't see. All right.
No. Drip.
Is that a stiff peak? That's pretty stiff. Look, it's not
No.
moving in any direction.
Would you feel comfortable holding it over your head?
I'd feel much more comfortable holding it over your head.
Well, then let's go.
All right, here we go. That, my darling, is as stiff as your peak can be. Now we add a 1/4 teaspoon of cornstarch. There it is. And a 1/4 teaspoon of vinaigrette. And this supposedly stabilizes, I don't know. It's just another little acid, right?
Yes.
Okay, can we get
Every stable relationship needs a little bit of acidity, which is why I'm here.
That's why I'm spilling. All right, so there it is. Let's give it a little stir.
Fold it in with a spatula, which is
Right,
somewhere.
which is right here. So I'm going to fold it in.
Cute.
Yes, that vinegar has an odor. Oh, unless it was some gas. No, just...
No, it just
so
smells like you took your shoes
pour
off.
it in. Did you hear what she said? She said that to moi. Fold it in. There you go. Fold it in, folding it in.
Not too much because
Don't want
you
to fold
wanna-
too much and knock all the air out of it. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, let's call that thoroughly folded. Now that we have the meringues, we are going to pipe them out. Well, I'm going to pipe them in two
And I
types.
spune them because
Spune.
I like things that are not quite as
Exact.
exact. I like to wing it.
All right. So I'm going to take half of this and put it in my piping bag, and Too Tight will take the other half.
And have my way with it.
As she does with me.
Would you like some help?
I think that would be lovely, darling. Thank you.
That's half?
Not yet.
Really?
She's coveting the meringue. There you go, darling. Knock yourself out. All right, now, we were supposed to get 4 each, but it turns out I can only get 2. So, here we go. Piping around the circle. And then filling up the center. Doesn't matter what that looks like. As long as it gets covered. I don't know if I got enough meringue here. So, filling it all in. And now I'm making a ridge around the edge to hold in the rest, the whipped cream and the fruit. And you see I'm going to have only enough for 1. And she thought I was taking too much.
Well, it's a bit flat.
Yes.
Honestly.
See? There you have it. Now this one is not going to make one. I can see it's not enough. But I shall try to scrimp it out.
Yeah, this is very flat.
Oops. Maybe it's the heat of the lights. Melting it, if that's possible. Okay. And here goes from a little wall. A little rim. Rim it, baby. That's what I'm doing best. Okay, there we go. I've got 2.
This is
I've got 2.
terrible.
Eat a tube. That's what Truman Capote once said. Okay. And there we have it.
Okay, well, I think
That
that's
could be a little more dainty. A little more
I-
bowl-like in the middle.
And yet, I'm not a
Push
dainty.
it out to the sides of the circle a little. There you go. All right.
I-
She's not a dainty girl. Isn't that a poem? She's not a dainty girl. Not here or in the world. All right? Now they've been piped, and we'll put them into the oven, which is at 2. Well, it's supposed to be 300, but I find a little bit lower is better. Even if it takes a little longer. Then,
Well, actually, it takes much longer than that because you bake them for about an hour and then you let them sit
turn
overnight.
off the oven and leave them in there to
Yes.
completely dry out.
And while you're doing that, maybe you can go Christmas shopping or Hanukkah shopping for your friends. And perhaps this book of Penguin Book of Haiku would be good. You could find some of your own poems about cherry blossoms, or perhaps you could go with
The Great Escape from Detroit.
by Joseph O'Malley, because the holiday season just isn't the same without a plug of your own book.
Yes, and they're lovely little stories you can read by the fireside and enjoy together.
Yes.
St. Nicholas will tickle it down your stocking.
Yes. So there you go. Great Escapes from Detroit and the Penguin Book of Haiku, or any other
Penguin book.
books that you...
Fresh from my doctor.
Or, some bling is always good too.
Bling?
Yes.
You mean in your stocking?
Bling are also, a year's supply of...
Bling, blong, bling,
Yes.
blong. Yes. So, the next stage is the fruity stage.
We're going to prepare the fruit before we make the whipped cream, just so that it's nice and fresh and ready. But we're using fresh raspberries, fresh blueberries, fresh...
Not only that, all of this
Organic.
fruit is yes, it's organic. So we didn't have to wash it
Strawberries.
with baking soda.
and blueberries. We're making 2 kinds of whipped
Now
cream.
we do whipped cream in this lovely handy dandy little food processor,
Yes.
which has this wonderful attachment for making whipped cream. So it takes all of the labor out of it.
Yes. Lady Mary Pozah is fond
I
of
use rum.
rum,
Tum tummy.
as we can see.
That was last night.
And I'm fond of Bailey's Irish Cream, which we'll be bringing out. I'm keeping it in the refrigerator because it should be cold. But before you do that, you have to drunken up your cherries. And I had some frozen cherries that I put in a little bottle, and I poured some rum, and you can use any kind of rum, and it gives it a nice. Actually, we tried this little already. It gives it a pretty powerful
They're very strong.
punch.
Very strong.
But with the Baileys, with that nice little chocolate thing, and a little
Not bay leaves. Bailey's
right,
Irish cream.
exactly. Gives it a nice little punch. So our cherries are soaking
Which is
in
also
there.
incidentally delicious on its own.
Yes, our cherries are soaking. Whipped cream.
The cherry soaking for me and my gal.
We won't be putting in any sugar because the alcohol should do it because not everyone likes things
There's
sweet.
so much sugar in the meringues.
Yes.
Okay, now we're ready for our final assembly.
May I have a spoon?
Yes, you may have a spoon. Now, I'm doing something different from Too Tight. I'm going to mix mine with a little of cranberry sauce left over from Thanksgiving. It's like a jam, so it never really goes bad. I'm going to put it in here.
And I'm just going to start without you.
Now, I'm only making 2, so I don't need a lot. But here we go.
Well, I'm a big girl, so I need a lot.
That's a lot of whipped cream, darling.
Yes.
Yes, she says, covetously. All right. And it's dripping.
That's quite all
There's
right.
a hole.
Sometimes you need a little
Hole.
hole.
My darling. All right. So there we have it. Now here we are
They're just lovely.
with our finished product. And, my darlings, they taste as good as they look. Or maybe they look not as good as they taste.
Well, they taste wonderful. We've tested out these before too.
We did a test run and they were scrumptious.
And the drunken cherries really do pack a punch, but
And speaking of drunken,
it's worth it.
where the hell is me wine? So, darlings, we wish you all a very merry holiday, safe.
And sexy?
All right. A safe and sexy holiday to all of you.
Yes.
Yes.
Or just safe is good too.
But the safest you can be is in your kitchen, cooking for you and your loved
With
ones.
someone you know.
Now, I'm in lockdown with Too Tight, as she could gladly tell you. Maybe not as gladly. Yes, we are in lockdown together. That's why we're not wearing masks. Also, who can drink with the mask on?
Right.
Merry Christmas, darlings. Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. And happy. And happy sexy. Oh, no.